We are here at Blackpool Pleasure Beach for our first visit proper in the daytime in 24 years. A lot has changed in this park, a lot hasn't changed. I'm looking forward to getting on a lot of classic rides, especially Icon today, which is their new Mack coaster that debuted in 2019. Fortunately, we already have tickets and a very convoluted app system of which you have to buy the ticket and then upload your picture and all sorts of personal information. Well, not that much information, but either way, it is a little bit complicated if you don't have Wi-Fi per se, if you get that advanced purchase ticket. Of course, we're at the Haunt event here last night. Definitely check out that vlog. But for now, it's Pleasure Beach for the first time in 24 years. Very looking forward to it. The park itself is a classic trolley park and one of the last examples left in the United Kingdom. Let's go inside. It's hard to believe that the last time I was here, the Wild Mouse was actually still here and I got to ride it. Noah's Ark, as you can see here, and they cover the classic attraction, which is just next door to us, but unfortunately hasn't been open in many years. Another thing that hasn't been open is Valhalla, which opened only a year after my last visit and now still is not available. I'm desperate to get on this ride, but I don't know if it's going to happen in the foreseeable future. Regardless, we're going to have a quick look at the progress of this ever-delayed ride as we make our way through the entrance of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. A still closed and still being reconstructed Valhalla, including temporary scaffolding, which is not a good sign. In fact, I had followed a vlogger, a very famous one, in regards to the reopening of this attraction this year, which they had announced during a summer event that was supposed to be the case. Indeed, it does not. I don't know when I'm ever going to be able to get on Valhalla. It seems kind of ridiculous that it's taken this long for the retrofit. The better part of 3 years. I feel like I'm cursed. We're going to have a great day here at Blackpool. Now that it's warming up, I don't have my jacket, which is for a story that will be in the main vlog of this entire trip. Flying machines. There are so many attractions here that I have never done. Fascinating being here on a slower than usual day. Most rides open at 10:30, so we're gonna make our way to the back. Get our way straight to Icon. Hopefully it's open earlier. It's the only attraction that I've seen open is the Alice in Wonderland dark ride. It's another famous attraction in this park that I have to get on. River caves, which, to be honest, after last night's experience, it's going to be probably a bit underwhelming compared to what that Haunt delivers for this classic Tunnel of Love ride. Pretty sure we're gonna have a pretty low attended day today from what it looks like, which is gonna be great news for me. We're getting on all these rides. So many classics. I cannot even remember too many of the details of my last visit here. Icon is running though, so we're going straight on. very nice and stunning. Avalanche is also open, so we'll definitely get on that. And there it is. The legend that is Icon. Now known as the best ride at Blackpool. We're about to find out. Or hopefully. He says it's okay. That means we're going in. A very stunning and picturesque park here right now. I'm finding it difficult to get over where I'm supposed to, but maybe after a couple rides on Icon, I will settle in. I'd say it's a safe bet to expect a very picturesque vlog today. This park is just full of detail that if you don't look for it, you'd miss. It's also a bit of a maze. But now that that guy gave the big okay for Icon to run, I gotta hustle. They're all behind me. The big one in the background. We're gonna have a lot to cover today, but we found the lineup for Icon. It's just a stunning park overall. Maybe it's a stunning day. So the line for Icon, because it opens at 10:30, is a little long, but other rides are open, and I've just decided, I just left it. I just left the line. Because, you know, the big one is doing its test run, which should be ready in a moment. But I do know one thing that is open is the steeplechase. Ooh, there's a lot of things to cover here. I'm not even sure Pepsi Max exists anymore, but that's what this ride was originally sponsored by, and it's still here. Looks like it is. We're off to Revolution. Right up there. Let's get this stairwell out of the way and get a ride on this Aero Shuttle Loop Classic. It's a bit precarious getting up here, as you know, it's a pretty open stairwell. You get some great viewpoints, however, the ride's not quite running yet. So if you want an overall perspective of the park, it's a good spot to come.
It's easy on myself once I get this coffee in my hand.
Fortunately, it's almost done. We just finished Revolution. That was quite a little snappy ride. Not as intense as I thought it would be, but yeah, it was a great Aero Classic. You can't really beat those rides. They used to be the biggest thrill in the late 70s, but that was a long time ago. Sadly, the big one is still not open, but Steeplechase is, as is Avalanche. Icon is not.
Yeah. fasten at all times. As soon as the race begins, you must hold on to the grab rail until the end of the ride. Please follow instructions given by the ride operator. You must not cross the track at any time. Enjoy the ride! Welcome to Steeplechase. This is a fast-paced ride with twists.
As you can see, Revolution is valleyed, or it did valley earlier, as I did observe it swinging in between the loop and this hill. I have no idea how they evacuated the ride, but as I always say, make sure you get your credits first while they're operational. I'm going on Avalanche now. I've actually done a ton of rides. I've done Icon 4 times, twice in the front, twice in the back, so at some point I'm going to go through the park and give a comprehensive review of all of these rides, as I'm just now taking them all in and getting my fill, as it's been a very enjoyable day here at Blackpool. day here at Blackpool. A little wet because I just got off this log flume, which actually, this Nickelodeon log flume is a lot more complex than what you'd think at first sight, given its really short drop. It's about to go down now. Yeah, despite such a minor drop, it's quite soaking. Not too bad. Certainly nothing compared to yesterday when I went on Storm Force 10. That was crazy. Yeah, good little ride. Well situated in the area as well. I like the tunnel just before you get to the actual lift hill. So they even have on-ride photo. So they definitely believe in this ride. Anyhow, that's a log flume out of the way that I had to get done. I'm going to go to Nickelodeon Streak. Like I said, I've had a great day already, and it's only 3 hours in, and I've pretty much done all the major rides. So for the section of the vlog right now, we're going to focus on doing reviews of everything that I've already ridden that I haven't covered. We're going to go around the park. We're going to enjoy a couple things. Maybe also highlight stuff from the haunt last night. And then that'll probably be our day as we get off and do other things here at Blackpool. Just finished Nickelodeon Streak there. Oh, I tell you, that was a rough one. I'm trying to do a Roddy Dangerfield impression. That was so bad. Oh, that was a rough one, let me tell you. Okay, whatever. That was one of the roughest wooden coasters in recent memory. I definitely will not be going back on it. And it really doesn't leave much. It's definitely a children's level ride. Woo, it's a bit rickety, that train, at least over the years. This is a ride that's getting on, I think, to 80 years old or something like that, so it can't be blamed. And I've left all 3 of the older wooden coasters till the end. I actually just did Blue Flyer, so we're doing all of them in a row. I'm about to hit the Grand National, and then the Big Dipper after that, and then my head should be pretty well rattled from that point forward. So come along. We're going to go do all those rides. We're going to get some dark rides in as well. And then we'll cover the bigger ones that I have already ridden, like Icon 4 times already, and the big one as well in the back. I'm going to go and do a re-ride and give you my full review of how those are running on my return trip to Blackpool. All right, let's carry on.
Just with 2 kilos of chocolate, guys. Hey, I'm gonna go, guys. Just with 2 kilos of chocolate, guys.
The first of the 4 dark rides that we're going to do today, and one I've never done before, Wallace and Gromit Thrill-O-Matic. We can actually take you on, which is great, so hold on for that. And then I'll give you my impressions thereafter.
Cheese. We're going somewhere where there's cheese. Oh, good job I greased the bearings. Did you check the brakes, lad? No crackers from me. We forgot to look my purpose. Hold on, Tommy. Hold on. say that. Tuesday. Is it supposed to be, Matt? Don't worry, madam. Everything's under control. Where did you get that from? That's my machine. I've got a landing on Oh, that's large enough. You'll be hearing from my solicitor about this. Capable of over 125 RPM. That's rabbits per minute.
Rabbit bother and trickle straight on over the pipe of that.
Hang in there, Gromit. Everything's under control. Good boy, Gromit, man. Well done. Well, that went as well as could be expected from it, didn't it? Well done, Chuck.
I just got out of the Wallace and Gromit dark ride behind me. I didn't know that it actually is built in the building right below us. So it actually goes down into a separate room that's below the station building, and then it has a multitude of scenes of which you saw there. Very well laid out. Reminded me kind of like the Phantasialand, and I know I compared this place to Phantasialand before, but the ghost train in Phantasialand does the same thing. It goes underneath the building or underneath the queue line or station or yada yada yada. I just find that kind of cool. It was a good ride, great family ride. Definitely, I love Wallace and Gromit in general as far as their characterization of British culture. You know, I think it's just perfect and spot on, and it was a very cute ride, very effective, and everything works. So, yeah, sweet times. Alice.
The Mad Hatter's Tea Party.
Alice has no head. Mushrooms. Alice. Smell pods. It's very perfumey. Mushrooms. Upside down rooms. Just doing our thing here on Alice. AFC. Near miss. And now is Alice.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the river caves at the fabulous Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
most spectacular example of the art of ancient Egypt.
Big entrance and a final drop. Where's the drop? Oh, there's the drop. Just did infusion here, and I kind of maintained my impression of it from last night and the Sirens version from the Haunt. It's not the most brutalist SLC that I've ridden, and I've heard that it is, but maybe if you have enough experience and you've been on half a dozen of these particular clones, you get used to bracing yourself and kind of adjust in order so that way the ride is not so painful. That being said, the inline twist was a fair bit amount rattly, and if you weren't prepared for it, yeah, that definitely would probably end your day here at Blackpool. Cheeky and point out that this plaque behind me, that for Richard Rodriguez, you can see right there, claims that he has the record for most hours ridden consecutively on a roller coaster. But for those of us that know otherwise, that record actually was beaten before then in the 80s in Montreal on their own Cyclone coaster many, many years ago by Daniel Gladu and Jean-Pierre, I can't remember his last name. But unfortunately, that is not the record, but that's the record that's on account, let's say. So, yeah, unfortunately, maybe a documentary on that will come up soon. Big Dipper is done. Left in our day here at Blackpool. It's been an amazing day. It's almost done for rides. I got a couple more to cover, then I'm gonna loop back. Enso's actually open for Icon, so I'm probably gonna end my night doing that unique experience to sign off here from Blackpool. The mountain show is going on as we speak, however. In front of me, however, is another coaster, and the second last one I have to do today, but a classic. It's the Grand National. I'll cover Infusion. I'll cover the Big Dipper after I get my ride on this classic. Alright, Grand National's done. I don't remember that double down first drop, which is kind of very unique for a wood coaster. Besides the point for this Mobius, I've been on this ride before, so technically the credit is covered. Could I try the other side? Technically I could because it's a walk-on. Will I? No, because that was rough as hell. I'm sorry, pardon the expression, but it was crazy. It was more hellish than Passage del Terror, which I'm looking at just beyond here. Yeah, that was the roughest ride. It definitely needs some work done to it. It's an interesting ride in the sense that it takes you all the way out to the back end, the maintenance area, and then back. So I do like the fact how it interacts with the Pleasure Beach experience or layout as well, especially those final airtime hills returning to the station underneath the boulevards. Great. With a little bit of work, this ride will probably be a lot better, but it certainly needs a refurb, much like its station behind me has already gotten. Because I did do a wheel seat on this one, so that being said, I rode the Big Dipper all the way back there, and I didn't ride that in a wheel seat in the back to made sure that, and it was much more of a pleasurable experience, no pun intended, at Blackpool. But yeah, it was a great ride, and I definitely would consider riding that one again. Both of them are comparable as far as their thrill level is concerned. They're called white knuckle rides. I'm not so sure how white knuckle, other than holding on for your dear life so that way your brain doesn't get any cranial trauma due to the roughness of it. That being said, classic, glad I got on it. Got a couple more rides to do before my end of the day here at Blackpool, so let's get on with that.
Hello, everyone. This is Alice speaking. Come along to my Wonderland special pack. Talking flowers, Humpty Dumpty, the Mad Hatter's Tea Party.
Just got off the flying machine there, which interestingly enough, you can actually see the mechanism inside the gift shop, which is kind of a unique touch. And actually, a good segue into what I love about this park is the infrastructure and how it's all built on top of each other. It reminds me of Phantasialand in a way, but not quite as ornate as Phantasialand is. But, you know, it's really an adventure just exploring Blackpool and figuring out what the best paths are to get to your favorite rides. We've done every ride except for Avalanche that we want to do today. And we're gonna go and get on over there into that section of the park, close out our day. Just got off of Avalanche, the Huss bobsled there, Mac bobsled. That was a wild ride. That was actually very good. Did it in the back. The train, just the speed of that thing is kind of unrelenting. So I might consider doing that again if the time permits. But there's priorities. There's 2 rides I want to get done for the end of the day. And that'll be Enso, also known as Icon, and the big one, of course, as well. So we're on our way there now. Just got off of the most violent monorail in existence, which of course is the big one right behind me. That was a great ride. Definitely did 2 rides in the back, non-wheel seat, a little bit rough, but fast. It's a quality aero coaster and legendary in its own right, and very popular today as well. Definitely could use with a little bit more track work, which I'm sure Blackpool has planned for some other sections. But overall, it wasn't rough compared to, you know, some of the wood coasters here. And also, you're not allowed to put your hands up on the ride, which is kind of unusual because most people will do that anyway. But I know why, because some of the clearances, if you have longer arms, you might get something clipped there. We got a date with that spinning seat. It's time for Enso. Just finished my ride there on Enso, behind me, Icon, Enso. I got an Icon jacket on, as a matter of fact. I'm definitely impressed with the ride. I love the second half. It's really carries the speed through that double figure 8, I guess. It's a 2.5 or a figure 8.5. Who's counting? But yeah, definitely all those whippy, snappy turns in the second half in Icon. you go through this unusual gold structure to get upstairs. It's very weird, like how this whole thing is set up. But then again, that's Blackpool. They find space wherever they can, and they certainly found it for Icon. As far as Enso is concerned, definitely an improvement overall in the experience, I'd say. I enjoyed it immensely. Is it the most intense version of a spinning coaster I've been on? Oddly enough, I still think about Galaxy Orbiter and West Edmonton Mall, but I thought that corkscrew while the train was turning was very impressive, and that was like an element that I never really experienced before. So big marks on that. Is it worth that extra 15 pounds, however, is the big question. I wouldn't say so. I'd say it would be more reasonable if they offered it at 10 pounds maybe. But being that it's only 2 seats on one train, they obviously have to manage the level of interest, the amount of people that ride it. No sooner did I got onto the ride, though, a kid tried to like get into the seat right beside me, and I had to remind him about the fact that it's not the case. You got to pay 15 bucks to get in there, especially if you paid 15 quid. You don't really want someone that didn't pay to sit next to you, or at least that's my perspective. The park is closed, unfortunately, because someone was sick on the big one just before my train dispatched. I didn't get back to Icon in time. Had I gone on had that delay not happened, I would have got on Icon for one more ride. But I did see the doors closed just behind me here. I do like the fact that they are just some big temple doors that just shuts everything off, so you can't actually get access to the ride. That's the way to do it, Blackpool. A very fun-filled and perfectly run day. The operations, Blackpool has kind of like the perfect scenario for operations. They're not exactly swift, but they're very tongue-in-cheek and have great sense of humor. I didn't cover in the haunt last night, and I said I was going to cover a couple things about the haunt, but the scare actors and the ride ops and even just the train ops, like they have just the greatest sense of humor, and they really like add to the experience of what isn't the greatest haunt event. I will be completely honest. Another thing I didn't mention for my ride on Big Dipper is I love that if you just happen to hit that ride at the right time, then you get that great interaction with Icon as both trains head back towards the station, and you're basically like racing a steel versus wood coaster on the run-in, which was fantastic. Hard to describe, but that was what happened. It's just like a storybook garden. The thing about Blackpool is that it's just so ornate and full of treasures, as you can see. It's actually not that big of a garden, so we can get out of here this way. Kind of just waiting for a couple people to get out of the park so I can do my outro. There is no one left at Blackpool. This whole place was full of people a second ago. They really do get out. But I guess that's the part about being in Blackpool, is that, well, A, there's a really important football game on right now that I should be watching. But because you're so close to your hotel and everything, you kind of can head right out of the park and immediately get on with your night, get some dinner, and get to the nightlife as per your plans.
Okay then, jockeys, are we all ready? Oh, there's a jockey on the course.
Alright, fountains are off. It's time to get out of here. Overall impressions, I love this park. It's exactly kind of how I remember it from many decades ago, but it is what it is. There is really no park in the world like Blackpool, and you don't come to this park expecting the world-class experience that you're going to get from, say, a Disney park. What you're getting is a world-class experience that you get from a park run by your neighbors, if that's fair. It's really a fantastic place. I thought about the selection of rides here. They have a pretty good arsenal, considering, you know, you've got 3 major steel coasters, 4 major wood coasters, well, 3 major wood coasters, 2, 1, maybe this park needs a new wood coaster. God knows where they would put it though, because it's really impossible to figure out where this place finds the space that it does. That's what makes Icon all the more remarkable, is how that ride is situated, and they managed to sandwich that into Blackpool itself, or Blackpool Pleasure Beach itself. Considering it's a pretty long ride, like it has 2 sections. Reminds me of Terran in a way. It's completely not the same ride as Terran. It's not even the same manufacturer, but with the whole, like, the way that the course is laid out in the section it is, with all that spaghetti bowl action, very much a Terran type of experience. Alright, we got a lot of vlogs to film even tonight, so I'm going to get on to that. The next one's going to be a walk down the Blackpool Promenade. Then we have Blackpool Illuminations later today, and we're also going to check out Tussauds as well. So it's a busy day. Definitely come along if you want the full Blackpool experience, because that's what we're going to get tonight. But for now, the last game is running over here. Thanks for watching, guys. Always enjoy.
Well,